Hi, Gianna here. Welcome to my kitchen. Today on the show for you, I am doing something to brighten up the day. I don't know where you all live, but where I'm at, it is cold, it's dreary, it's the middle of winter, and I want a nice breakfast treat to brighten the day. So what I have prepared for you all today are fresh blueberry lemon scones. We're gonna make it all by scratch. What you will need today to make these lemon blueberry scones by scratch, of course, the star of the show, blueberries. Now I got these blueberries when they were in season and when they were cheap, like $1 a pint. And what I do is I bag them up. Anytime my fresh vegetables or fruit are on sale, I buy them and I freeze them. So fresh blueberries, you need about a cup of those. You're gonna need your lemon for later. We're gonna do some lemon zest and we're gonna make a lemon glaze to drizzle over everything. You're gonna need heavy whipping cream, 2 sticks of salted butter, very, very cold, room temperature egg. You're gonna need salt, baking soda, sugar, and flour. I got my big old cutting board, and what I have today is I'm gonna use the food processor. This does cut me out a step. I could cut in my butter and my flour, but this is the way that I always make my scones, and they just come out foolproof. And as you all know, something works for you, don't change it. So come on in, let's get started. We want to go ahead and start off by cutting our butter. This butter was actually frozen, so making it a little bit harder to cut, but just make it a little bit easier for your food processor. We're going to start and put all of our dry ingredients into our food processor. And if you don't have a food processor, no worries. You could always use a pastry cutter and blend in everything by hand. This just saves me an extra step. So we want to put in 3 cups of all-purpose flour, which I have done. We want 1/3 cup of granulated sugar. We now need, let's see, 5 teaspoons of baking powder. But this is not quite 2 full tablespoons, so we'll just measure it out. 3, 4, and 5. And then I believe we need 1 teaspoon of salt. Okay, that's it for our dry. We're gonna put our lid on. We're just gonna pulse this just for a couple seconds. Looks good. We're gonna pour in our very, very cold butter. 2 full sticks, get all that in there. And before we pulse that, let's go ahead and measure out. We're gonna be drizzling in our heavy cream and our egg mixture. So we need 1 cup of heavy cream. Between 3/4 and 1 cup. I'm gonna go ahead and put it in between 3/4 and 1 cup. If you need more, by all means add it in. We wanna crack our 1 egg. To our heavy cream, we're gonna add about a teaspoon of vanilla. We just wanna scramble up our egg and our heavy cream. Make sure you break up that yolk. Okay, now I see the yellow swirling around. Okay, do you see how I've broken up that yolk? All right, we're gonna be drizzling this in, so it's gonna be a little loud, but. What we're looking for now is for our dough to come together in a ball, and so if you need to add more heavy cream at this stage, just keep on going. Got a little bit left. I'm gonna continue to drizzle it in. It's coming together, but I'd like to have a little bit more. So for my recipe, I'm gonna say between 3/4 and 1 cup. Okay, we wanna stop at this point. Everything looks together and congealed. Now what we're going to do is flour our surface. We are ready to roll out some dough. This makes a lot of scones. It actually yields 16, so we're gonna do 2 discs and we're gonna cut the wedges into 8. So we'll have quite a few. Let's get our flour going. Now today we're making blueberry, but I have made so many different variations in my bakery. I have made maple walnut, I have made fresh strawberry, I have made lemon, orange, and I think I did cranberry as well. I mean, the combinations are really endless for what you can do. Dump. Get everything out. Be very careful of that blade that's in there. Okay, I kind of want to move the blade on the non-sharp side. Well, out comes my blade. There we go. All right. Get your hands in there. You're going to get a little dirty. Mix all this dough together. And we're going to try to get it into a nice circle. Okay, our dough looks great. It's in a nice circle. I am going to just cut this in half with my pizza cutter. We only want to use half the dough right now. All right, so we want to make sure our surface is floured. Looks good to me. Make it into another circle if you can. We're actually going to roll this pretty flat. We're going to be folding in our very cold blueberries. If you work too much with the blueberries, your whole dough will turn purple, and we don't want that. So I'm just going to roll this out. I'm going to put down half of our blueberries, and they are cold. I'm going to push them down, make a little imprint here in my dough, and I'm going to fold this over kind of like you're making croissants, and you keep folding over to get your nice flaky layers. Half our blueberry mixture is in, and we're just smushing it down a little bit. We're now going to fold our dough over. We're just going to kind of keep on folding a little bit. We don't want our blueberries to escape, but if they do, it's all right. Okay, now we're going to push this down. We're going to roll this out. And we want to cut 8 wedges. Our blueberries are escaping. It's okay if they escape. We're going to put a few more on for garnish anyways. So, doesn't have to be perfect. Sometimes a scone is a little more rustic. We're going to cut this into a pizza. So one here, pull it apart. Is that not beautiful? One here, and these are going to spread big time in the oven. So they might look small now, but they are not going to be small scones, trust me. Anything that falls out, you're going to want to garnish on top. Now is a great time to preheat your oven to 400 degrees. And we're going to be making both of these, and we're going to put them on. If you don't have a silicone pastry mat, you can use parchment paper. Okay? And they will need a whole pan to themselves because they will spread out. And here we go. We're just going to place them on there and get ready to go. Do you see how the blueberries did not turn the dough purple? That's important. If you want more blueberries, always add them to the top. Okay? Okay, our uncooked scones just look so petite and cute to me. We yielded 16 slices, and for the recipe volume that I gave you all, you need to cut it in half and make 2 different discs. I went ahead and completed the other pan. I have a few blueberries left. I'm just going to garnish, kind of put them on top. The ones that maybe look like they didn't get as much blueberries, I like to do that. So for an order, I wouldn't want anybody to feel like their piece of scone did not have enough of whatever the filling was. If we were making maple pecan, I would make sure that all of the scones had the proper amount of pecans on top. This is just that extra piece of garnishment that makes all your cookies and desserts look uniform, especially if they're going to be slices. All right, and because our blueberries were frozen, these scones are very chilled. If your scones do not feel cold to the touch, then you need to flash freeze them for about 10 minutes before you bake them. Because again, what we're doing by flash freezing is we are solidifying that butter again so that it evenly distributes while it's baking. You want your butter to be cold. All right, so these are ready to go into our preheated 400-degree oven. We're just going to watch them. They need to go in for about 20 to 25 minutes. And as soon as they come out, I'm going to put them on a cooling rack, and we're going to drizzle them with a bright and summertime lemon glaze. So look forward to that. Now that our scones are baking and I can see them, they look beautiful, we want to go ahead and get our lemon glaze going. I have a fresh lemon here. I'm just going to roll it to release the juices. Before I cut into it, I want to get me some of that wonderful lemon zest. This stuff is wonderful. It'll brighten up any dish you have. But if you do not like lemon, you need to leave this step out. I know my father does not like lemon, and anytime I make a dessert, he's adamant on me leaving out the lemon. So he will try a scone today, but he will have no lemon zest. All right, now we're gonna cut this lemon in half. We're gonna squeeze out the juice. We're gonna make a mixture, a little glaze, using our powdered sugar. You actually wanna put the lemon face down. Most people put it this way, but if you put it face down, you won't get the seeds. And if you knew that, then maybe I'm the one who didn't know that, because I used to do it wrong for years. We need about a whole lemon, so get your whole lemon in there. All right, now we're going to kind of eyeball this. I know the consistency I'm looking for. I want a thick paste rather than a clear translucent frosting. So we'll start with maybe a cup and a half. I'm just going to start whisking it together. Once it gets too thick to whisk, I know that I've reached the level of consistency that I want. You want this to be a little paste-like. This is actually perfect. You want it to be more pasty than translucent. We want to drizzle this and let it fall off the sides of our scones. We don't want it to be so clear that it looks like, that you can't tell there's a glaze. And if you can zoom in on that, you can see the bright flecks of lemon. It's very, very pretty. All right, we'll just set this aside, and our scones are almost ready to be drizzled with it. Our scones have come out of the oven, and I love the way that they look appearance-wise. You can see a little bit of golden brown here. They're crispy on the edges, and I know they're going to be buttery goodness on the inside. So what you want to do is go ahead and pick your scone off and just take your glaze, and it'll start to drizzle off the side. It is the prettiest thing when you see this glaze drizzle off the side of the scone. You will see the nice flecks and the hint of the fresh lemon. And again, if you don't like lemon, please feel free to substitute for vanilla bean. You could even put a little bit of maple syrup. I've done that when I've made my maple scones. And these look great, so I'm gonna go ahead and dive in. These have cooled off a little bit. I'm gonna dive in and give it a little taste. So, so good. First you bite in and you get a crunch of the outside of the scone, but then it is buttery, biscuit smooth on the inside. You get the pop of the blueberry, which is a little sour, a little tart, but then that lemon zest glaze is what brings all of this together. All of this works. These flavors meld together. They go together. Blueberry and lemon were meant to go together. Again, if you don't like lemon, 7-Up or something else. It's cold outside. I've got my winter vest on. You're gonna want something bright and springtime to cheer you up on a January or February dull morning. Give these a try. I promise you might like them. Thank you for taking time out of your day to be with me. Have a great day, great blessed day. Check me out on all my social media down below. You can click to see the recipe for this and subscribe to my channel. Thank you again.